All right. Yeah, the two cameras thing doesn't look like it's going to work. One of these days I'll figure out how to do it. Yeah, my phone's still trying to be part of all of this. So some technical difficulties as I begin. I apologize for that up front. Let's go ahead and grab my blue line pencil. This, by the way, maybe, no, I don't think you can actually see it. Hold on, let's see if I do this, if it helps. No. Yeah, I can still hear me, so I assume that that's gonna go away here in a second. One of these days I'll get this all right, folks. But what I'll do instead, I actually like the two cameras too. Oh well, one of these days. All right, so today, first character that I think I'm going to attempt to draw for the first time ever is none other than Scooby-Doo. So lots of other people have drawn Scooby-Doo in the past. I have never tried to draw Scooby-Doo, so give me a second as I pull up reference material. And if I like the way that Scooby-Doo comes out, who knows, might do the entire cast of the Mystery Machine. But was just thinking about drawing Scooby-Doo earlier. So let's pull up a fun picture of him. Zoom in a little bit on it. Make it a little bit easier to see. And all right, so Scooby-Doo. This is going to be a fun one. By the way, I'm not expecting it to actually look like Scooby-Doo by the end, so I say that because, well, he seems a lot more difficult than I was thinking he was actually going to be. So we're just going to pull up oh, I like that one. There we go. We'll zoom in a little bit more. And I'm going to have to use a magic rub eraser. Anybody who doesn't have those shouldn't consider themselves an artist. No, I'm kidding. But all right, so Scooby's got a pretty tall face, a pretty thick neck. It's almost like a human, but then he's got weird looking ears. do some pretty weird things, actually. All right, so actually looks more like Scrappy-Doo if you ask me, but I kind of like the way it's going. So we'll break out the old microns and get some thicker lines going here. So it seems I've got a couple people in the room. If you want, go ahead and please tell me who you are. And if you can't see that, there's our layout for Scooby. We'll start with the micron. Got to break out my colors too. I forgot to do that. So Scooby's got a pretty fat nose, which is easy enough to color in because, well, it's completely black. So that makes that pretty easy. Now, if I wanted to go for comic booky here, I'd probably leave some of the white in there. But we're going to go for as close as we can actually get to the my nephew just said that he's watching my stream. He didn't put that in the comments though. You guys can actually comment if you see what's going on. Got Scooby-Doo that I'm drawing right now, and this is the first time I've ever tried to draw Scooby-Doo. So how's everybody's day of quarantining going today? I know that I've been kind of bored. Went out and got some chicken wings for lunch. Thought it was pretty weird that the place that I went to get chicken wings had a 30 wings for $30, which I thought that was a little bit outlandish in terms of cost. But then she told me that they had a special of 20 or 30 wings plus a drink for $20. So I couldn't understand why anybody would not have gotten that deal instead. So that's why I went with that. My brother said that they can't actually comment because they're watching from their TV instead. So I guess we'll let that slide. Now you'll notice I got a little pad down here as well, and the whole reason behind that is so that I can, when I'm coloring everything, that we have the ability to draw off the pages. Because obviously, as you color, you want to color in the whole card. So here's where we are with Scooby-Doo. And now I'm just looking for a full thing of colors to use. Because with something like this, you need a full array of coloring instead of just some colors. And of course, I have a hard time finding everything, so we're going to have to go with what we got, at least for Scooby. What makes Scooby pretty easy is he's pretty much all one color. So when you're coloring in, you know, I say this every time I'm on one of these streams, you want to put the colors in light first so that if you need to add shadow or anything, you can add quite a bit more color just by going over it a second time. So in these pens that I'm using are Tombow pens. They're called dual brush because they actually have a small brush as well as a wide brush. I like using the actual brush side instead of the pen side. But these pens are actually really good for blending. They actually have a blending pen with them. So when you're using them, you can actually go through and like lighten it with almost like watercolors. Still think he looks more like Scrappy-Doo than Scooby-Doo, but for my first attempt at trying to draw one of Warner Brothers or Hanna-Barbera's characters, I think he's looking pretty good. What's everybody think? Michelle, you probably overheard me say what I'm using for pens at this point, but in case you didn't, these are what we call Tombow dual brush pens. They're really used for flesh tones. They do make colors as well, but I use their flesh tone pens just because I like the look of how they come out. So there's that part. Now we're going to fill in his eyebrows. And then we get to the actual fun coloring part where we got to color in things like his ears. His tags. And he actually has like a turquoise. So this probably isn't going to be the right color for it, but we'll add a little bit of blue to it. Just add a little more color to it there. And then, of course, we need a background color, which doesn't go with the drawing at all. So we'll go with a nice fluorescent orange. I remember my sister, Michelle, who's actually watching right now, she loved drawing the little turtle from the art class way back when. And it always said that you were a skilled artist if you could actually draw that turtle. And you know what's funny is I don't think I ever drew the turtle. So my sister Michelle drew the turtle a lot. She probably doesn't even remember doing it. But let's see if I can try to get this in frame. Scooby-Doo, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing you could draw, huh? I think Scooby came out pretty darn well. And his eyes are actually supposed to be fully colored in too, so I'll go ahead and color those in, round them back out. Anytime I use one of these Sharpies, they bleed a little bit, so they never look rounded. But there you go, Scooby-Doo. You called it Myrtle the Turtle, and now you live in Myrtle Beach. Maybe you were saying something about that. Nephew Drew is sending me something on the on my phone, so that's why I stopped for a second. Now I'm going back to the live stream myself so that I can keep an eye on everything. Oh, looks like we lost some people that were watching. That's disappointing. All right, so now that I drew Scooby-Doo, can't have Scooby-Doo without Shaggy, right? So I guess I will try to draw Shaggy now. My nephew sent me something again. I don't know what he's sending. Drew sent me a Bulbasaur. So maybe I will draw Bulbasaur here in a bit. On my Instagram, I actually already have a Pikachu that I drew. So now I'll go ahead and tell everybody if they can go ahead and like my Instagram page or follow my Instagram page at Rob Potchak. I post these final drawings after they're done on there. Evelyn wants to know where the happy little trees are. She's a little too young to actually know who Bob Ross is. My niece is apparently heckling, but it's okay. I will let her get away with that as we try to draw Shaggy now. Now remember, again, every single one of these characters is the first time I'm actually trying to draw them. So I have not ever tried to draw these characters before. Just recently, DC Comics had actually updated all of these characters, so Shaggy doesn't even look like Shaggy anymore. He's got a full goatee and everything now, which I always just thought looked kind of silly. And looking at him here, we'll round it out a little bit more. Shaggy looks like he's actually got kind of a little mullet thing going on. So I like using the brush pens to actually give a look of actual hair when drawing hair. Let you actually put some hairlines in there and give a little more realism to the artwork. Don't forget the 3 point. Well, there's going to be even more than 3 points on his chin. So we'll I'll let everybody see that in a second as I get closer to it. As we get a little bit closer to what he looks like. And yes, this is a character I've never drawn before. If you notice, from time to time, I will go silent because I'm actually trying to get the drawing in correctly. It probably sucks listening to me when I do that because I don't really say too much. But, you know, otherwise, you know, man, I don't know if I've got the right color for his hair. His hair's like a weird blondish. Ah, never mind. I think I've got something that might work. Nope, too dark. This does not look like the color that it came out as. That's kind of annoying. If I had just gone with that color, it would have looked really bad here. And that's not the right color either. That's not even the right color for his skin. Okay, let's see. How about this one? Well, that's probably closer. Well, it's funny that you say that the cartoon from the 80s, Michelle, because Scooby-Doo was probably more like the 60s and 70s, because remember, they had Batman and Robin show up. Interestingly enough, Robin was voiced by the same person as Shaggy, Casey Kasem. Later, played by Matthew Lillard, who now does the voice of Shaggy, who also played Shaggy in the live-action movies. So you can't add yellow to brown because it's just going to make the brown darker. So what I had to do there was add orange to the yellow and try to get it as close to it as possible. Now, of course, I've also got to get the flesh tone correct, and that's going to be pretty difficult because I don't see my flesh tone pens. So kind of like in hockey, when you want to use a Ray Bork, if you don't have that line around, you just use whatever's around the house. If I just have my nieces and nephews on right now and my sister, you can ask Uncle Shane what I mean about that. It's one of my favorite commercials, actually. Even that, we can add a little bit more. Where's the color I was just looking for? And then, of course, Shaggy has an awesome green shirt. And this is probably just a little too dark, but everybody will know who it is. And then again, we need to figure out what color to go in the background. And with Shaggy, I don't know, how about this? Let's color in the background. When you're coloring, you always want to color away from your other colors, because if you don't, then you end up getting spots like I just did right there where your colors end up going into the other colors. Sometimes that can give you a pretty good effect, but when you're just trying to color, you want to just fill in all the negative space. And after you fill in all the negative space, you've got Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Although he probably needed to have the more of the just regular beige color in there. So we'll fill him in with that real quick. What does everybody think? And then, of course, like with all other pieces, you just go ahead and you sign it at the end. So it makes real art. And now you've got Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, partners in crime. So now the question is, who to draw next? And I think I've got it already. And this one's going to be tough. Because anybody who knows me and how I draw knows that I'm always scared about drawing young ladies. I'm not sure I understand the question of how do you prevent the brush strokes. I guess typically what you want to do is use a thicker, like for backgrounds and stuff, I would say that you just use a thicker color or a thicker marker, because that's going to have less strokes entirely. But what you'll see is with like the Tombos, they don't leave a lot of marks. Now, or I'm sorry, not the Tombos, actually, Crayola markers actually don't leave a lot of streaks, and that's what you see in the background on the Scooby. But the other ones are all with the Tombos, which are a thinner brush, so they definitely have a different feel to them. Velma's got a very derpy look on her face. I can't help it, but that's actually the way she looks in the picture. She's pretty funny if you ask me, but anybody still talking on there? Octo Pretzel, I don't know who that is. Appreciate the compliment, though. And actually, I just noticed that our glasses actually have a different color, so we'll try to color them in with white a little bit. By the way, white pens almost never work properly, so just keep that in mind if you ever want to try to draw. Brown in certain spots probably needs a little highlight. And there you have Velma. Yeah, I don't know if they're actually because it's from the 60s or what, but yes, I would assume that she's wearing tinted glasses because she's a character from the 60s. Could be any number of reasons why, though. Could just be because they wanted them to look a little different. I don't know. So now we got 3 of the characters. So of course, that means that one of the next ones has to be Daphne. So let's see if I can find a. There we go. It's funny, they always tell you when you're a comic book artist to put as few lines on a young lady's face as possible. And yet Daphne easily has the most lines on their face out of any of these characters, except maybe Scooby. So she's going to be a tough one, a tough cookie. My pencil is starting to wear down. Oh well. I signed it. It was right there. I didn't initially sign it, but I did go back and sign it. All right, now a tough one. Like I said, a tough cookie here. Trying to draw Daphne here kind of scares me, actually. So. Yeah, I will say that because I'm using StreamYard to do the video and everything on this, I don't see the comments as fast as you guys make them, and because of that, I have to just assume that I know where you are with your statement. Made a happy little accident for everybody. Since we wanted to bring up Bob Ross. There we go. And we'll add a little bit more to the hair. Like I said, I really like to add to the hair and make it look a little more realistic when I draw. And Daphne's hair is quite orange. I hope everybody's having fun watching. That was a pretty nice save right there on the color miss. Shaggy, for some reason, she's got. Now, interestingly enough, as a redhead, they probably did make sure that they got the color scheme right with the olive and the purple and everything. But her scarf is like just massive compared to everything else on her. And of course, being a redhead, you would assume she's got very fair skin. And she's got, this is probably too dark. But with it being Daphne, she probably needs to have a pretty dark purple background, even over the light purple outfit. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking this color purple probably would have been better for the outfit, but now it's too late. And of course, we can't forget her headband. And there's Daphne. How long have I practiced to get this good at drawing? I would say that it's a continuous practice. It's something that I continue to do, not necessarily on a daily basis, but I would tell you that anybody who wants to be good at drawing wants to actually draw as often as they possibly can. So if you're not drawing every day and you want to learn how to draw, I would definitely recommend making sure that you draw every single day. And you will hear that from artists all over the place. So there's Daphne. What's everybody think of that one? She kind of scared me to draw her, but when did I start? Well, I'm 42 now, so I probably started drawing on my mom's walls when I was about 3. No, and in all honesty, I probably really wanted to start drawing. If I had to guess, I was probably about 12 when I wanted to start drawing, and I definitely consider myself more of a writer. I let the actual art be done by some much more talented people than myself. But I do enjoy drawing, so that's why I do it. So, and I kind of look at drawing as similar to golf. You don't have to be good at it to enjoy it. You just have to enjoy doing it entirely to really have fun with it. I don't think anybody ever needs to anyone ever needs to be good at golf except for professional golfers. So same thing with art. I think that if you like drawing, just draw. Just have fun with it. Anyone can pick up a pencil and do this. You know, it's not an expensive hobby. It can be. You know, I'm probably playing around with, if I had to guess, probably just right here, man, probably $200 worth of drawing equipment. And then, of course, we got to draw Freddy because he's the only one that I haven't drawn yet. Wearing his white ascot. Never understood why he had a scarf on as well, but he did. He seems to be the only one that I don't think I'm really catching the look for. All the other ones I felt pretty good about, but Freddy, I'm not seeing that. Yeah, I'm not liking this so far. So let's see if we can fix it. If not, you can always have a do-over, I guess. think Freddy looks more like Johnny Quest. The nieces and nephew probably don't know who that is. Freddy's got his very blonde hair. Pretty much same skin tone as everybody else. Because as you can see, they were very diverse in the cast. Ooh. That bled. And let's see, for the background color for Freddy, I think we're going to do a dark green. And we just hit the hour mark on this. I know that I had some technical difficulties right at the beginning, so I appreciate everybody hopping on after that. It's been a pretty fun experience drawing the Scooby-Doo crew for the first time ever. I hope everybody feels like I did a pretty good job with all of them. Freddy even does look more like Freddy now. Mainly because I guess if you get his colors right, you're halfway there already. I guess his kerchief can be a little more actual red as well. And we sign it. And now the entire Scooby-Doo crew is brought to you by Rob Potchak. Again, my first time ever trying to draw all these characters, so hopefully everybody feels like they came out pretty darn well. I tend to think that I did a pretty good job for never trying to draw them before. Octo, that's a very good question. I just saw it. I will say that the quarantine has been interesting, if nothing else. We're making do. We're enjoying the time off that we get. We're enjoying the you know, some of us actually still have to go to our day jobs, which means that we still get paid, which is always a plus. But take the time to have these. Can I draw the mystery machine? I normally like to keep these down to about an hour. Let me see if the mystery machine is something that would be possible. I'm probably going to say no, just because of the amount of lines that I would have to draw with. Not to mention, I don't think we really need the mystery machine. The only other character I'd actually want to consider doing would be Scrappy-Doo, and at this point, he's I still think that my Scooby actually looks more like that. So I'm gonna respectfully decline drawing the mystery machine, but I hope that everybody did enjoy me drawing the actual crew from Scooby-Doo. And with that, I'll go ahead and say, hopefully that you want to follow me, subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to do it more often. This is my second time this week that I've been drawing on here, so I expect to be on here a couple more times over the next month or so while everybody's in quarantine. You know, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and you know, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter, it's at Potchak. Instagram, it's at Rob Potchak. The name of the YouTube channel, obviously, is Rob Potchak. So hopefully you'll subscribe to that. And hopefully everybody liked what I did today. Out of all of them, I think Scooby came out the best, but I was surprisingly happy with the way my Daphne came out. So I am surprisingly happy with Daphne, but the cake still goes to Scooby-Doo because he came out pretty awesome. So again, like the video, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Rob Potchak for my comic book stuff. I'm also known as the Junior High Horrors guy. And of course, we also have an Instagram, instagram.com/Junior High Horrors, as well as facebook.com/Junior High Horrors for that. So hopefully everybody had a fun time with all this, and I will catch you next time. Stay tuned to the Instagram and Facebook pages. They normally tell you when the next time I will be on will be. Okay. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful one, and we'll see you next time.